Hey everybody, it's Brad Thor, and last year, end of the year, Facebook asked me to list books on leadership that I had read throughout the year that had an impact on me, and they called it their Read to Lead program. And I wanted to share with you some of the fascinating books that I read in addition to those as I was doing research for my new thriller, Spy Master, that comes out on July 3rd. So the world of espionage, of recruiting spies and running spies is fascinating because it requires exceptional leadership, inspirational, and management skills. So I wanted to share with you a few of these books because I think they're fantastic. Whether or not you're in a leadership capacity, you're just interested in how organizations work and how to inspire people, or whether it's just espionage, spies in general, you're interested in those kinds of stories, you'll love these books for both reasons. So let's start out with The Great Game by Freddie, I shouldn't call him Freddie, I don't know him, Frederick Hitz. This book was fascinating because it looked at some of the greatest spy novels ever and then compared them with how the world of espionage really works. The intelligence community really works. He's a former intelligence officer himself, so he had a really good perspective to bring to what fiction authors like me get right and sometimes what we get wrong and how the real world of espionage works. So this was fascinating, and this is the top of my stack, but this book actually ties into the very last book I'm going to share with you. So that's this one. This book, called The Handbook of Spies, or actually Handbook for Spies, was written in the 1940s. It is about an Englishman who is recruited into Soviet intelligence and how they set up their networks and his role within them, particularly the Lucy network in Switzerland. Fascinating book. It's very tough to find. I had to really scramble to get my copy of this. And if you are interested in how a real intelligence network runs, how it's put together and how it's managed and how hard it is to keep something like that going and the skills that are necessary for it, I highly recommend Alexander Foote, Foote, his Handbook for Spies. Fascinating, true life account. Great stuff. Another book that I read that's amazing. I talk a lot about the bravery of our men and women in uniform and what they have to overcome in the field. It's amazing. Great plans for combat last until the combat begins, until first contact, they say, and then immediately you've got to change, rearrange what you're doing, find a different way to do it. Well, the Brenner assignment absolutely captivated me. A very good friend lent this book to me, and I was thrilled to learn about these incredible operations run by the precursor to the CIA, something called the OSS. This is all about real personal courage, the ability to take adversity and turn it to your benefit. Fascinating accounts, particularly what was happening with the Americans in northern Italy in World War II as they tried to shut down Nazi supply lines and to really harass the Nazis. There were a lot of operations, very few of which went according to plan, and how these incredible operatives had to move in the field, had to change up their plans, and also what it took to recruit partisan Italians to come over to the American side to work with us and to keep them motivated throughout the war. This is an awesome book. Any leader will enjoy this book. The next one that I read was Comrade J. By the way, the Brenner assignment, for those of you who couldn't read it, is by Patrick K. O'Donnell. Fabulous book. Patrick K. O'Donnell, The Brenner Assignment. Another book I read while researching Spy Master, again, all of these are nonfiction books, is Comrade J by Pete Early. And this is the untold secrets of Russia's master spy in America after the end of the Cold War. This was an amazing book. Not only how this Russian kept himself hidden from his own intelligence service as he came over to the American side, but what he had to do to keep his own networks in place and the management skills, the personal attributes he needed to have in spades to be a successful spy master. This is a fascinating book. You will love this book. I wish the subject was still alive. I would have loved to have met him and to have interviewed him as I was working on my own thriller, Spy Master. I think he would have been a fascinating man to talk to. Now, I will wrap up with one of the most fascinating spy masters I've ever known. In fact, Reed Carlton in my thrillers is based on this gentleman, Dewey Claridge. And this is Dewey's book called A Spy for All Seasons. It is amazing. Dewey was an incredible American, an incredible spy master himself, helped set up the Counterterrorism Center at the CIA. And this is the story of Dewey's life. It reads like a thriller. And you learn about, again, as with all these other books, what it takes to be successful in the world of espionage. And many of those things are things we need to be successful in our day-to-day lives, whether it's as managers in companies, whether it's small business owners. These books are all fabulous and not places you might think to go to pick up management secrets. We've got a lot of great SEALs and Delta Force guys that are writing some phenomenal management books and leadership books, and I've talked about those in the past. But it's fun to dip into the world of espionage and to see what we can take from it to be better leaders ourselves. So this is my stack. I will post a list of these books and where you can find them, and I hope that this video was helpful for you. Thanks a lot.